Hey, what's up, guys? This is Bombshell, and you're listening to the Titus podcast. This episode is brought to you in honor of Movember by Harrys.com. Go to Harrys.com. Get $5 off your first order with promo code Titus.
Promo code Titus!
And now, here with the Armageddon update, Christopher Titus.
I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon update. And you know what? I have finally hit an age where I can look back on the previous generations and appreciate the fortitude and steadfast commitment to making it against any odds. They had world wars, diseases, depressions, Nixon. The previous three generations dealt with things better because their parents didn't kiss their asses. Sure, they're bitter, divorced numerous times, smoke like chimneys, and pound alcohol until their livers file a grievance, but they expected that. They expected to have to work hard. That generation had to hold up their end. Not once ever did my dad say to me, "It's okay, you can be anything you want to." And the only time he called me special was during the Olympics of the same name. Now, I've talked about it before, but we are now starting to see the full-blown psychological AIDS virus from participation trophies and the Orwellian word use that helicopter parents slather on their kids like Neosporin for failure. Connor, that class isn't hard, it's challenging. You tell your teacher you didn't misspell, you are just creative with your use of letters. Yeah, this update is sponsored by social media and the narcissism it amplifies. See, all I'm reading is these posts from 20-somethings talking about how hard it is and how empty they feel because they came to L.A. and they didn't become Kurt Cobain in 6 months. This one post talked about how this 25-year-old was living but didn't really feel alive, that his world was crashing and that all he wanted was success. Here's one of the quotes. "I'll never be the same. I'm a shell of a man." Seriously? You're 25. You are a shell of a man. But from your post, you are a little bitch through and through. To you 20-somethings that are surprised that without your parents carrying you around in a financial baby Bjorn, that life is hard and you're not getting bottle service in the club. As a matter of fact, it's tough to get a job at the club. You need to nut up. Cool Uncle Titus is about to let you know how life is going to go. Number one, if you wait for it to happen, it won't, ever. You will die bitter and unfulfilled without leaving anything worthwhile except maybe a high score on Call of Duty. Number two, it takes a long time to make it. Give it 10 years or 10,000 hours of busting your ass, you little bitch. You will lose a lot. It's part of the deal. School teaches you how to write your name and wipe your ass. Failure earns you a degree in life. If you lose, notice it. Stand back up, see where you did it wrong, and then get back to banging your head against that wall. Winning isn't a result. It is a journey. Winners feel like winners before they won anything. Everyone loses sometimes, except for Justin Timberlake. Number 6, you don't get to blame anyone if you quit. You, Y-O-U, quit. Get a mirror and really see the person responsible for your failure. See, this is what I'm tired of. We all want a foot massage, but no one wants to pay for the lotion. Okay, that's a weird metaphor, granted. Look, success in this life will not be given to you. I even wrote that in all caps on this Armageddon update. Listen, you may have to eat a bag of rice for a whole week. You will be late on your rent. You will fail repeatedly, and you will not get the job, part, position, or gig you wanted. You are not Jay-Z. Because Jay-Z would never post some lame-ass, poor me, wussy, I'm 25 and my life is over bullshit on a social media website. And if he did, at least it would rhyme. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Hey, everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. With me, as always, to the right. It's looking so beautiful and fine. Bombshell Rae.
What's up, people?
And way in the back over there, it's the fetus. Hey! That was perfect. Hey, he's been taking your direction.
I know, he's very good after about a month.
So I do know that the Armageddon update was a little old man Johnson. Get off my lawn! Don't you damn kids! I know it was. I didn't mean it that way. I wanted to let everybody know that your parents, if you're whiny, if you're 24 and you're whining about your life, your parents made a huge mistake. They told you that everything was going to be good, that you could be president if you want to, you could run a company, you could be Mark Zuckerberg, and you can't unless you bust your ass. And I'm just tired. This all got started, folks, because...
by the way, that was a modification that you've made after your father, because we were just talking about how your father parented, and when you said, parents tell kids, you can be Mark Zuckerberg if you want to, and you can't. And I was thinking, that's exactly how your dad parented. And then the new Christopher Titus added, Unless you work your ass off.
Right? Yeah.
Your dad was just flat out, "You're an idiot. You suck. You're
you can't never. You're never gonna do any of it. You know. But what if I? Nope. Yeah, but if I go to college,
Nope.
like you're gonna get into college.
Right.
That was my dad.
So good job. I see progress.
But if I learn computer programming, nope. It's a magical box. You can't even figure it out. You idiot.
You said learn, right?
Yeah. You said you were gonna learn something. Ha! Get a shovel. Learn to use a shovel because that's pretty much all you got. There you go. There was no bonus. Well, if you want to, if you try hard, there was never that. So this all started because there was a post on Facebook that was so stunning. You know, the difference between me and Bombshell is Bombshell has a heart. Hers hasn't been totally ripped out by her parents. Oh, there's damage. There's some bruising. But
although it's being worked on currently.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on. But not by me, right?
You said parents.
Yeah, parents, right.
They're making up for last time. Let's just say.
You're in a chapter 2 thing, and I'm not. I don't get a chapter 2.
Turns out it's never too late for you to be ground into the ground by your parents.
All right, there you go. Thank you. That's right. And that's why we all, you want them to live with you in your later years. So, because after you've succeeded and done everything good, then they can move in with you and make you feel like a 4-year-old that just pooped his pants. Right? Okay, and an intermission, possibly. So there was this 23 or 24-year-old guy was writing on Facebook, and he wrote this really long. Basically, it was basically the Magna Carta of his life. He just wrote it like forever about how his life wasn't working out. He's been in L.A. this long, and I never wanted money or fame. I just wanted to be seen as the next Kurt Cobain. Like he didn't even see like what he was saying. Listen, man, I don't want to be talked about like Jesus. I just want to heal the blind and the sick. Like with my touch. So this guy kept doing it. And it was whining, and he was talking about thanks for all the support. And what do you say? I'm alive, but I'm not living. Or
I'm no longer living.
Yeah,
I'm a shell of a man.
I'm a shell of a man, dude. So this goes on. And by the way, we're just hitting the high points. These are the high points. It went on forever, didn't it? This went on forever. And this little bitch just kept talking and talking and talking about how bad his life was. And he'd only been here like a year, right?
I don't know. The dude.
Okay, so. If you're 25, that means you've only been here at most 3 years. At most. And that's if you nutted up at 22 and came to L.A. L.A.'s a tough town, And this guy just kept whining and whining and whining. And I'm finding now, because social media is so narcissistic. Everything's about you. How many friends do we have? And I look at it. I look at my Twitter feed all the time. I'm mad sometimes. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Jim Gaffigan has so many more followers than I do. And he does. He does. It hurts my soul. But then again, I realize it's imaginary. It doesn't mean anything. And all these guys on the internet are just so whiny. It's so... help me here. I'm about to lose my mind.
I don't know if I can. There's no help.
There's no men. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
there's no men.
Amen, sister.
There's no men.
Preach.
There's no men. And
church.
And the women are just being they're just whiny little bitches too. They're
what?
just like they are. They're just like they are
yeah.
on social media. Don't you think so?
Ooh-wee.
Everybody wants to be a Kardashian, and no one wants. I am so tired of these noises. If you could see her face, guys, she's actually mocking me also physically and with noises.
They already knew that.
I know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Oh, hello. That was my. I got a little vigorous there with my chair.
Yeah.
I actually got a letter from someone because when I open for you, I chop up stuff. I don't do whole bits. I chop stuff. I take off on the women's stuff. I'll cut bits out, or I'll cut off the end, the protesting or whatever.
I'm standing off the side of the stage staring at you with my laser eyes
TikTok,
get off,
TikTok.
Yeah. We got a show to do. Let's move it on.
I'm always
do your
stressed.
cute little comedy. Do your cute little comedy, and just they'll chuckle amicably, and then let me do the job.
My comedy could be really cute if I want. I totally had this guy convinced in Nashville at the theater on Friday night that I opened by tap dancing and juggling bananas. And I was asking him for a floor mic, and he was like, "What's a floor?" I go, where you put down so it'll catch the percussion of my tap. And this dude was like, "What?"
He was into it. He was like, you should have put that in the right, or you needed that.
Yeah,
didn't you ask? You said, "Where's the bananas?" I'm juggling bananas.
Not too ripe.
I'm supposed to have 12 bananas. here. And he's like, what? He's like, and this dude bought it up until she's about to walk on.
And I pointed and laughed hysterically.
Yeah, but then again, you're my wife, so he thought, oh, it's one of those.
So, well, I didn't tell him I was.
I know, it's hilarious. She's pretty. I bet she juggles bananas.
Yeah. Most men think I hope she does and hope she doesn't talk. That's pretty much what most men are thinking.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
What?
Go ahead.
That's not funny. Don't laugh at him. Peter said, heck.
He did. He cack a little bit.
Yeah, so anyway, I got a letter from a lady, one of the shows this weekend that was like her soul was hurt because she did not get the point of what I was saying about women, and she thought I was actually just putting women down. And what I'm actually saying is the predominance of women. There are some badass women that do stand for other women and do support them. I have some of those in my life, not talking about those, but those are the exception, it seems like. So yeah. I'm just speaking from the feminine point of view right now. You have your opinion about the male point of view, but
hair flippers,
the women that cannot be with themselves, the ones that constantly have to flip their hair and curl it,
or act like kids so guys can.
The ones that you look at and they don't know you're looking at them, and they're slowly scanning their own body up and down, looking down because they're so effing insecure. The ones that are nasty to you and they don't know you, you've just walked into a room and they're eye rolling and stuff. That's the more common experience these days. And I wrote this lady back and I told her it's farcical, I'm being satirical, I'm making fun of, but I'm making a point that happens. And if you don't know that happens, then you should go out into the world more, is what I'm thinking, because it's common. And I think that it is really exacerbated by what you just said, by television, by reality TV. What we glorify for women and female relationships now is catfighting, screaming, throwing things, flipping tables.
And you watch it like a fiend.
I would so argue that I don't watch any of it like a fiend. I have a friend that watches it like a fiend, and her husband actually talks about it on stage. Every show, Married to the Medical something, 10,000 Pound Life, People magazine, Us. I mean, it's like some people devour it.
But everybody watches it, and so we're bitching about something that everybody's doing. I mean, they would all disappear. Listen, they would all disappear if we just weren't just media whores. And I see these girls on Twitter all the time. There's these pictures of Twitter, and all these. No one's writing anything smart. What they're doing is they're putting their phone in front of their face and doing a selfie of their abs, or they're wearing a thong and putting it up on Twitter. And I just go, really? Is your dad around? Did you have a dad?
No.
And these guys. Okay, so the girl side. There's too many people on the planet. 7 billion of us. There's 7 billion of us, and I think it's time to do some editing and maybe take some people off the planet. And if I don't fit in, I'm fine with going. If it helps the human race survive and become a multi-planet species, I'm fine. What bothers me the most, and I meet some of them on the road, some of the guys on the road are dudes, and they're guys, and you know that stuff will get handled. Most of the men I meet on the road or see on social media, they're just these little bitches. They can fight MMA, but when it comes to like really handling life, hey, dude, change a tire. I'll call AAA. There's just this missing, and I get, as Fetus was yelling at me earlier, you kids chew too loud with your food. Get off my lawn. Don't touch my apples. You're
definitely that guy, for sure.
But I've earned it in this life.
That's what they all said.
No, I can back it up, though. See, I can back it up.
And then they died alone and sad. And no one knew because no one was around. And all the kids
were just happy. They
were happy he was
broke
gone.
into his house after he died. And
noticed that the house stunk. Didn't care. Body was found 3 months later.
Yeah, it had actually rotted the floor because it decomposed. It decomposed floor. That's my end.
You're welcome.
If I keep whining like this. So I'm talking to Fetus about it before I started, and Fetus starts giving me this weird counterpoint that he believes that it is the parents' fault of these kids that did it. So get on the mic for a second, Fetus.
Of course, parenting.
I know,
but there then is a tipping point where you're now old enough to see what is possible and what is better, and you can choose it. But certainly up until maybe, I would say, I'll give you
22.
I'll give you till 18.
Yeah, I just want to preface by saying I'm not.
Whoa! Did you tell him to start yet? Whoa!
Yeah.
Little
Okay,
energetic
wait,
there.
I think
I'll wait till I'm cleared by security.
she has a procedure though. That can I talk?
Can I talk?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is your mic on?
I think so.
She's like
He got a little giddy.
She's like the verbal TSA.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I just want to say I'm not like making excuses for the millennials or the entitled generation or whatever we're called. I'm not trying to push all of our faults off onto the parents, say nothing's our fault, because clearly there are a lot of assholes that probably have good parents and it is their fault. But I do think when you're raising a kid and they're 4 and 5 in those developmental years, you can't teach them that it's okay that if you came in last place, here's a trophy for that. No, you came in last place. Run faster, fatty. Like,
there you go. I can't wait till he has kids.
I so don't see him being that kind of dad.
yeah, totally.
No way.
Yeah, his dad is.
No way.
No, how do you think he got so destroyed like this? His father was like that.
I thought it was that one girl that kept
it's
doing
both.
things
It's
to
both.
him.
His father beat him down far enough, and then the girls. Then his
She
dad just
finished
went.
him.
His dad went, ladies, I'm going to hand it off to you now, and you can just continue to destroy your self-esteem.
It's a fair assessment.
So you think it is? I believe. Look, your parents do have a big effect on you. I was way angrier than I was up until I was than I am until like in '95. Everything switched when I took the landmark form. That's when everything changed, and I got it. And I was psycho, always self-aware, and just it was wrong. My dad beat that into me. I understand that parents do have a responsibility in it, but at 24. You need to start being self-evaluating, and you need to go, this guy, when you read this, I've never read one post that pissed me off so bad that I had to write a podcast about it because...
you were all ranty McRanterstein in the back seat. We were in between theaters on tour, and I read it, and it was, habit a Herber here, mumble, mumble, grumble, grumble, mumble, son of a bitch, asshole. And then I heard clickety, 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 clickety,
Grab my computer and started
pounding on the keyboard to write this Armageddon update.
It's hard. Listen. Anything you want is hard. It just is. There's no every time when I decided to play the guitar, I didn't think I was going to pick the guitar up and be good at it. I'm still not good at it, and I've been playing for 4 years. I'm still not good at it. When you went to film school, so did you walk out thinking, okay, I am now a filmmaker?
Oh no, not at all.
Right. Do you still get to see stuff all the time that you need to learn?
Yeah, every time.
Well, hell yeah, of course he does. He works for me. He's actually living the hard. He's living the hard part right now. You go to college and you were going to be a criminal justice major or English teacher. What did you were going to do? What the hell? You had 2 of those. You had this weird major and minor.
English and criminal justice.
That's a bizarre major minor.
Because I was initially pre-law, and then my advisor told me that pre-law didn't really prepare you that well for law school, and that a more well-rounded point of view and education would be from a combination of English, because you do so much writing, and criminal justice.
So to become a criminal justice major, you need to write a lot.
I
thought you would.
That's not what I said. To become an attorney, a better approach would be to have English and criminal justice background.
That was good. That's a good counsel. And then you ended up a stand-up comedian.
That's because I met you, and my whole life came off the rails. Slam.
That's not the first time someone said that. That is not the first time someone said
that's actually in your
you.
Match.com profile.
And then my life came off the
I'm
rails.
going to F you up. Yeah, so what's your point? What were you going to ask me before you got lost on my majors?
Yeah, you went to this thing called college, which I have no information about and no experience with. I went to a half semester of business law. And I was like, this is I will kill myself. I
highly recommend college for people.
I do now because I'm past the age of going. So yes, I totally recommend it.
I recommend it because it's sort of like an asshole triage. It's like you go from high school, your parents' house, and yeah, you could immediately go out into the world and be expected to have your own place and
I did
get a job. Well, no, but you moved home when you were 19.
I'm sorry. At 17
Don't waggle your finger at me.
I'm waggling. I moved out. paid rent. I take this. My aunt helped me do. There was a transitional period with my aunt, but I still had to pay her rent. Still had to buy food after I had eaten all of hers.
Yeah, I've heard these stories.
Then my dad took my car away, and I had to ride 12 miles to work every day.
In the snow.
Back of no snow. It was California. It was Northern California. It wasn't no snow. But I got a really nice ass for a while though. That summer, at the end of that summer, I was ripped because I was getting on my 10-speed and hauling ass Then I moved to San Francisco on my own. Paid my rent every month. Working in a warehouse. No help from my dad because we weren't even talking at that point. And then I ended up with $900 worth of parking tickets, and they had booted my car. And I went to my dad. They boot, and I had to go home and beg him. And he was so man. You know, my dad was never a helicopter parent unless it was an attack chopper, because he
Black Hawk.
Yeah, if he was a helicopter parent, it was definitely a
Black Hawk.
I got to write that down for later. I remember going to his house and saying, "There's no way I get my car. I can get my car." And I think I had taken Bart to his house, and I got to his house, and I waited for him to come home, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, "Oh God, oh God, oh God," and I just said, "Dad," I broke down. I'm 19, and I broke down, and started crying, and I begged him on my knees, "Please let me move back home. I gotta get out of this hole I've dug." So I learned something, and I swore in that moment that it would never happen again. And although I've had many holes that have been dug, I have never had to go back. You know, I always found my way to get out of it.
I just recommend university. I think it socializes you. It puts you in this purgatory where you're sorting things out. It's totally dangerous. You're totally off the rails. You're a hot mess. It's bad. And that if you get out of there alive, and you're literally alive, then God bless you.
With a degree,
you get to go
pass.
on to the world. But it's sort of insulated because you go to college and you're surrounded by other stupid people. And they're all sort of in that purgatory, too, with you, where they're not really an adult and they're not a kid anymore. And you live in dorms or you live in student, apartments. I lived in an apartment. I never lived in a dorm. But it's always right by the campus. So there's other students there. So there's all kinds of people in your human experience.
And weird smells.
Yeah, of course. And you move in circles with them, and so you're somewhat insulated by that. You're not necessarily out in the hard, crazy core world, and you have scholarships to help you pay your bills or your parents or whatever it is. It's like it
you
just
back
gets
up
you
my
ready.
argument. It gets you what? It gets you what?
You go and you learn your thing. You figure out what you want to do. It gives you time to figure out what you want to do with your life. You take your prereqs the first 2 years, and then you start to get an idea. This is what I want to do with the rest of my life. Not everyone was beaten down by their parents daily to the point where they hit 5 years old and they came out in their feety pajamas and said, "I know what I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. How long do I have to wait till I can move out, Mom?" That's not normal. It's just not normal. A lot of kids we don't know. And so anyway, I highly recommend it. And plus it's fun.
I think there's that kind of social Darwinism in college where a lot of these kids come in and they have no idea how to cook for themselves. They have no idea how to do laundry for themselves or anything like that. And you either put up or you shut up. Like you either figure it out on your own and you make something of yourself, or you move home.
You're serious? Are you like social Darwinism? It's really hard to, man. You got to learn. Hey, you're gonna have to learn to cook. You'll learn to cook and do laundry. That's the world. And you either step up or shut up.
No,
I was living in San Francisco trying to not get my ass kicked in the lower Haight-Ashbury
with 4 other people
who weren't paying their rent.
You basically went to a comedian's college.
I kind of did. I guess it's valid.
If I have to hear about Fat Julie again, here he goes. Broke your stereo and ate his food. You haven't heard about this? This is, oh my gosh, he's still bitter about Julianne.
You know what? Because she was English and she would talk like this, and she weighed about 420 pounds. And you would come home, and because you know how at that age you got no money for food. I've talked to this too many times, and the refrigerator was always bare. But if you had I had a jar of peanut butter. Okay, I got a jar of peanut butter. I got half a loaf of bread.
Some rice.
I'm gonna be okay. You're right. Rice. I got a watermelon that I'm saving. I'm saving that for Saturday. And because watermelon's like 8 cents, and so I'm good. I can survive for 3 more days. If you have a jar of peanut butter, half a loaf of bread, and a watermelon, and a little bit of rice, you can survive for 3 days. In San Francisco.
And this was a situation where someone's bedroom was actually the living room, right? Like every room was used.
Rob's bedroom was the living room. And
he was the guy getting no booty.
And Julianne had the room by the kitchen, fucking mistake.
Listen to him. Listen to him. Listen to you.
You don't put the 400-pound person near the kitchen. You know, you don't.
Because she ate his food.
So you'd come home and your jar of peanut butter, it was still in the refrigerator like all dickhead roommates.
Oh, no.
Except it was empty. It just had the hieroglyphics from the spoon scraping the inside of it on the outside. You know, it's a cuneiform on. You're like, you know, it's empty. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then you go, where's my watermelon? So I'm like the one thing I had that would possibly get me, nope. And then the only thing, she would leave the rice because there's no flavor to the rice. Rice was, I saw you can still eat rice. Well, there's plenty of rice left. Fucking man.
See what I mean? Still not over.
You know why? Because I was taught by my dad. Although when I
peanut butter hieroglyphics. Write that down.
Do you know the jar's got the thing on it when you put this when it's been scraped to death?
Down.
Like every little tiny little molecule of peanut butter's been scraped by the
Look at
fucking
him.
spoon.
That was
So then you had to make a undercover run. You had to figure out how to get away because you had a job you had to work. Then you had to figure out how to get away and drive to your dad's house when he wasn't going to be there, and then clean out his canned goods. So you had to do like an undercover operation where you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go in. If I can get there maybe at 2:00. Oh, Saturday. What's he doing? Hey, Dad. And then you call your dad. Hey, Dad, what are you gonna do on Saturday? I'm going out boating with blah. Oh, wow. I was gonna come by. All right. Yeah, if you come by, don't take anything. Well, I'm not even gonna make it. If you're not gonna be there, why even come down? I wanted to see you. And then second,
slam.
Slam. Yeah, exactly. Cling, 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 cling. Just canned goods, just throwing them in the
Toilet
car.
paper.
Going through his change jug, take an extra $25 in change.
Yep.
And I got to a point where I got bold with this change jug, man. It would be like because it was his Vegas jug. When it got filled with quarters, he knew. I did a joke about it.
Yeah.
He would take his little jug to Vegas and then take $10,000 out of the bank. It was like it wasn't really that he was going to gamble that money. It was more of a barometer of how much money he could actually. That's why I didn't go to college.
He was just pacing himself.
Yeah, he was pacing himself. So I would go and I would just clean him out, man. I would just I'd find the worst towels. I didn't take good stuff.
But you kind of did what we did. This is what I'm saying. And then you at night would go to your classes. You would go to the club and you'd wait outside. Some clubs you were too young to even perform at.
Yep.
You'd have to wait outside. They'd come get him. He'd do his time and then he'd have to leave.
But I wasn't a bitch about it. I knew that it was going to be hard. I gave myself 4 years in stand-up, and I knew it was going to be hard. And I took it on.
Oh, 4 years? That's
Were
coincidental.
you raised that everything was hard?
That's why I did it, because college is 4 years, and I figured, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to give myself 4 years. If I don't make a living, I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to just keep beating. Because there's certain people that have a dream, but they're not willing to face that they don't have the ability to get their dream. And maybe it takes a little while longer, because I knew some comics that had the dream, took them 8 years, and all of a sudden they, bam, hit it, and all of a sudden they were great comics. So I was there. I gave myself 4 years. At the end of 4 years, I wasn't really making a living at it, but I was making some money at it. So I decided to keep going because I was getting gigs. But I guess I did. But I wasn't a bitch about it. I would go home every night and write. I did my homework.
You structured it like it was college.
Yeah, but I never bitched about it either. I didn't whine and go, "Oh man,
I'm
didn't raise me."
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm complaining about is that's how you do it. You go in, you bust your ass, you work really, really fucking hard, and with nothing coming back for a long time, and then one day, click, something happens. But you have to. It's not a year. You shouldn't expect to be Kurt Cobain in a year. It said this in this guy's post that he just wanted to be thought of as Kurt Cobain. Motherfucker, are you? Well, maybe you could take a shotgun to your face. How about that?
Oh my gosh! Please don't ever go into motivational speaking, suicide prevention.
I did that joke.
You do that all the time.
I did that. Remember that joke in Norman Rockwell?
Oh yeah, we haven't.
Climb down the cross. Use the wood to get.
No, what's where the guy says we haven't had any complaints?
I got fired from the suicide prevention hotline. No, we haven't had any complaints. Exactly, Mr. Titus.
So I retweeted this from Zach Ward, who put it up yesterday, but he put a quote from Thomas Edison that said, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up."
That's what I always say about people in L.A. People go, "How do you make it in L.A.? Don't quit." That's how you make. You keep banging your head against that evil wall. And have I talked about my concentric wall theory of Los Angeles?
I think
show
you
business?
should do it again, even if you have.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Have you heard this?
Fetus has heard it. We've heard all your shit.
I've talked about it on the podcast.
We don't know.
No, I
Go
told
ahead.
Fetus. All right. So here's the theory.
Old man
and this
Johnson.
goes, yeah, let me tell you about my theory. I've been around a long time, children. Here's how it works. This doesn't just go for show business. This goes for everything. So imagine success being, let's say you want to be a computer whiz kid, whatever you want to be. What do they call them now? Whiz kids? Oh,
Yeah.
So you want to be a whiz kid. You want to be that Jew, Zuckerberg, whatever his name is. Zuckerjew. You want to be Zuckerjew. So Zuckerjew, he's in the middle. He's in the center of the concentric wall. What? Y'all can laugh out loud. I don't know why you're holding it in like that. When I'm that funny, you should let it out into the microphone so the people at home can, So Zuckerjew started the whole thing.
You made Feedy giggle.
What? So anyway, he the leader. He in the center of everything, and that's why he is a billionaire. Then you got the next wall out. Now, the next wall out is the CFO, whatever that company, computer programmer. And then these concentric walls go out all the way to the outside where there's some little kid who's playing a video game. And he says, one day, I want to be a programmer. Well, that kid got to bang his head against that outside wall, which is a rough wall. That wall got bricks and glass in it, and you banging your head, and it's going to hurt, and it's hard, and nothing good's going to come out of that wall. So then you bang through that wall. Then you get to the next wall. Well, he got a little job. He's he's the Geek Squad over at the Best Buy. But he's still in his head wants to be a Zuckerjew. So
Go ahead. We're sorry.
what's wrong with you people? So then he gets to the third wall, right? Now, he got a job at a little company, maybe Apple, but maybe not quite Apple yet. Maybe it's just one of them little software startup companies. And he's busting his ass every night. And he's staying 24, 25 hours a day, and he's working his ass off, and he don't make any money, but he gets a little bit of stock. And then he breaks through the next wall where they make him a position. That company goes public, and he gets a little money. And you keep going through walls. That's how every business works. And now you are standing right next to Zuckerjew, and you say, hey, how do I be you? I got to meet Bruce Springsteen. I met some of my heroes of comedy because I banged my head against the wall. And I still got many walls to go. Show business, Harrison Ford in the middle. Brad Pitt in the middle. George Clooney. They all hanging. They have a table in the middle. And that's how life works.
Bravo.
Wow. All right. You guys suck.
Yeah, you just got to keep at it. Was that the moral of that story?
Yeah,
What was the moral?
I could have just said that, but no one talks to me much anymore.
Racial slurs can be funny.
Once I hit 75, people stop talking to me. Maybe I said Zuckerjew too many times.
It's hard, man. Like sometimes, especially, I mean, it's what I say it all the time. Like I would rather pick an impossible goal and fail on the way to that than pick something easily attainable and get it. It's like, and so yes, I am setting myself up for a lifetime failure, but think about where I'm going to end up when I finally get there.
You got to set the bar so high. And I but here's the thing. That guy set the bar at Kurt Cobain, and then he gave up after a year and a half. I'm sorry. That's not how it works.
You need small victories along the way, too, to keep yourself
You have to set it, right?
Yeah.
You have to set.
Yeah, but the thing about that is you have to acknowledge them.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of people don't acknowledge. A lot of people bitch and moan and don't notice where they are as compared to last year. It's like we have even talked about when
I'm the worst at this.
you're terrible at it. But we have talked about that where I have said, imagine if 20-year-old Titus, if 25-year-old, if 30-year-old Titus could see this Titus, see his bank account, see his whatever it is, his career.
That we're doing our own theaters. We're going to film a movie in February. Right?
Yeah, you can't lose sight. You can't just get what you fought for, the little goals, and then be like, yeah, whatever, I'm still not there. Then it doesn't work. Then you're miserable.
But pick something bigger than you. And an idea big enough. And this guy didn't. It was all about him. I think that's the biggest thing. You guys want to be successful? Pick something that's not all about you. We had a big issue this weekend. Margaret Cho. Whatever you think about Margaret Cho or not, Margaret Cho did this thing called 12 Days of Rage, where basically Margaret was telling people there's a lot of people that have been sexually molested and hurt, and they gets beat down, it gets held down by them. They don't want to bring it out. Their uncle said if you tell anybody, you're going to get in trouble. So, and this happens as little kids, so they kept it inside them their whole lives, and it's affected them. They either balloon up, they give whatever it is physically.
Her point is you have to kill the rapist in you so that you don't kill you.
Right.
So by letting it out and killing that that and killing its power, then
Talk about it.
She created this forum where people could go on Twitter, and people from all over the world that don't know each other are sending videos where they are in the camera saying, "Here's who raped me. Here's how long it happened." You know what I mean? It's like, and people are tweeting about it. Yes, and so people are. It's becoming a shared experience that is not a secret, hidden thing. And one girl said, "I put this video up. I took it down. I put it up. I took it down. I've never told anyone." And so it's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, and then at the end of it, no matter what anybody thinks about it, that you get it out and you said it publicly. It happened. It's over. You let it go. You actually turned it over to other people and put it out in the universe. So now you can actually maybe move on. Now it opens up a door. Well, people went after her, like in a way that I have never seen. So she was up to something bigger. Now, if you're up to something bigger, here's what's going to happen. There will be a time people will laugh in your face. They're going to say, when I told my dad I was going to be a stand-up comedian, holy hell did he laugh. And he said, "You're already making me laugh, ha ha." And I said, "I'm going to be a stand-up comedian." I'm like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, right." He goes, you can't even barely write your name. How are you going to write jokes?" I mean, it was hard. And I had to move out. We went in fist fights about stuff like that. I moved out, and I disappeared for 3 years. Didn't see my dad for almost 3 years. And then I was a comic, and I was making money. And the first time he came to the show was the weirdest night, man. He came to the show, didn't sit up front, sit in the back. Really didn't like I was doing jokes about him. Really, you need to stop talking that shit about me, because that's not exactly how it happened. He didn't say the stuff I said didn't happen. He said, "That's not exactly how it happened." And I said, "Yeah, it wasn't funny when it happened." Now it's funny.
My mom says that now. That's why we're laughing, because my mom is always like, I never did that. That's not exactly the place and the time that it happened that you said on stage. And I'm like, well, no. I mean, you enhance things for comedic value, but you did say to me 3 years ago that I was had reached the end of my desirability. So
she was trying to convince her to get me to marry her?
Not even in general. Just in general, yeah, basically you better get married, period, quickly, because you have reached the end of it, and it's all downhill from here.
That's crazy. That's your mother.
It's a very old school Southern approach to...
And you better start knitting.
Something.
You better start sewing clothes for your family.
So she, was objecting to something I say on stage where she says, "Get married by 25 or else your uterus will become a dust bowl that no man will desire." So she's like, I never said that to you when I was tucking you in. And I said, whoa. I rephrased it. And then she just looks away, just like, whatever. But your dad had the same thing, and they don't like me.
What did your parents think about film school?
Oh, they're totally supportive.
See, you're part of the problem right there. So, but here's the difference with you. You have not bitched up and run back home to mommy and dad.
Oh, yeah.
You're sucking it up here. You were this dude lived with bed bugs in the shittiest
How long have
apartment
you
in
been
North
here?
Hollywood.
About a year and a half now.
You really, I think, I would say, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would say for sure that he lucked out. It was a random. We had a guy working for us that wasn't really working. He was.
Yeah, you can't even say he was working for us. There was a guy that I wrote a check to every week, and he took it.
Yeah. But he would say he was here and he wasn't here. And, stuff wasn't ever done. And every week I was like, what about what I told you? Oh, So,
or
right?
you'd call him at 12 o'clock, and he'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "I'm doing computer stuff."
Computer stuff. That was the thing.
Are you sleeping on the computer? Because it sounds like...
I was like, aren't you asleep? No. I've been up. I've been working since 10. And I was like, I invented that game. You can't use that on me. So anyway, right as that culminated, you walked into a...
rental house.
A rental house. We were renting
for the
stuff
special.
for the special. Yeah, special.
Because that was really the last weekend that guy worked for us, and
this guy should have done.
So he was looking. It's kind of like when you're dating someone and you have reached the end and you've decided this is it, and then so you go to the nightclub a little more open, a little shorter dress. You wore your shorter dress that day.
You don't go to the nightclub. You go everywhere a little more open. When you're looking, you're looking.
Do you like me?
I had no idea who he was when he came in.
Yeah. No, I was so pathetic when my divorce happened that I was hitting on people in Ralph's.
You told me this, and the girl got really freaked out and uncomfortable.
No. She was.
I have a boyfriend.
Yeah,
that girl.
That one. That's the sad part. When you go, well, say, do you want to go out? And they start to really quickly tell you, Because I'm not going to rape you in the parking lot. Do you want to go out? Well, so if you don't I have a boyfriend out, I'm going to rip your clothes off and rape you, right?
I got to say it fast.
And they rush it out. It's really.
I think it's the desperation that maybe people might see in that moment.
Oh yeah, I was high on desperation. I was high on the level.
I don't know that you can be high.
No, 11, high on the scale. I was high.
Okay,
I was at 11 or a 12. I was so far beyond normal desperation.
You were on the spectrum.
Oh.
Of desperation.
I am
So anyway, he walked in a little bit more open, and there you were.
This kid, Ryan was in there, and he was, and Fetus was just busting his ass, and he was like, he's honest. The paperwork was, and I was like, I don't know why I asked him. I don't know why I asked him.
You asked him that first day, right?
I go, yeah. I go, you like working here? And he said, yeah, what'd you say? What'd I say exactly?
I said,
and now we relive their first moments together.
He asked if I liked working here, and I said, I am working here.
That's what he goes. Yeah. I am working here. Yeah. He was very diplomatic.
Yeah, because I didn't want to talk shit about the business. I mean, I worked there because it was a great experience for me, and I got to meet people. Which
they can't
awesome.
fire you. So say what you want. They can't fire.
But
you. But we do want to rent stuff from them still.
Yeah,
so don't
I just really didn't enjoy. I really didn't enjoy the job, but I sacked up and did it anyway.
It was your warehouse job. It's the same job I had in San Francisco. I worked in a warehouse. We folded clothing that went out to this guy's satellite stores called CP Shades. I hated the job, and I used to drive a van from San Jose to San Francisco sometimes twice a day.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was craziness.
So, did you ask him that day if he wanted to work for you?
I said, give me I didn't want to.
Yeah.
He didn't want to get fired. He didn't know. I got your phone number, right?
Yeah,
I was like, give me your phone number, dude. That was it.
I
actually didn't say that.
From my perspective,
hey,
I remember.
Give me your phone number.
And he goes, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah, he said, I have a boyfriend. He did really.
That's exactly what I said. From my perspective, when you came in, you said that you're getting your production company up and running, and you're looking for an assistant. And in my mind, I'm like, oh man, every blowhard in LA is starting a production.
There you go. That's exactly how you should deal with me.
An assistant. Like, who's this guy? And so I didn't have any idea. And then so I ended up calling you, and you told me we did our interview at Hugo's. And when you pulled up in the white Corvette, that's when I was like, oh,
he has some credit.
Yeah. And so you still didn't know?
No, I Googled him in the parking lot.
Hey, man, don't ever tell people that. Look, that's between you and I. We went to that special parking lot where you Google people.
You saw his Corvette, and then you Googled him in the parking lot?
Yeah. See? That
really?
Sounds so...
Right then?
Yeah,
that sounds so wrong. But that's what happened.
So why did you go to the meeting if you didn't know?
Why not?
Free dinner.
No. Well,
yeah. Also, he's living in a place with bed bugs in North Hollywood, and I said, meet me at Hugo's, which is a great place to eat.
It's the same reason if we're going on the weird dating metaphor we're doing, it's the same reason you go on a date. Like, if it doesn't work out, it's fine. I mean, the worst that can
at least I get to eat.
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen is I say no, and I'm still working at.
I'd have been mad though if you'd eaten and not put out. We'd have had trouble. That's why I got Googled in the parking lot.
I never did that. I never wanted to go out with people that I didn't automatically like. I couldn't stand the thought of like having to last through dinner. But also as a female, men, they buy you dinner, they expect something, it seems like. So
yeah, we do.
We
had an intro. We actually now as a couple we have the same problem. We went out with some couples in the past where some of them are super cool and you're like, oh, we could hang with these again. That's when you're couple dating. That's weird. You're like these couples.
Couple dating is hard because you have to like both of them. Yeah, and that's your odds on that are so low. He has no idea. He's like, what is couple dating?
I need to get.
Fetus needs a girlfriend.
Okay, I'll put this to you. How hard is it for you to find a couple? Hard, because it's not happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay, imagine having to find that person to couple with and then finding two more people after that to couple with simultaneously.
You can tolerate or enjoy. No, we've had some.
Yeah.
We stopped. We don't date couples anymore.
Stopped.
We don't date couples anymore. We have our couples that we date, and they're our friends, and then
we're not looking for any new ones.
No.
It's hard to get 4 people to all like each other.
We actually have 6, and we're good with that.
Yeah,
we have a 6-pack, and we're very happy with that.
Yep. We have satellite people that we can mix up together.
Yep.
But we don't date couples anymore because we've been burned.
We got really burned.
We got burned.
We got really burned, and we were stuck for 3 hours.
Yeah, we got burned one time, and to the point where I was like, we both got in the car after and went, "Why didn't you go? I thought you wanted to stay. I didn't want to stay. Oh God, thank God, because I couldn't wait to get out of there."
You just need like a hand signal.
We were both okay, so
the chick we love, she's so cool, but she never got to speak for all 3 hours.
Oh, man. So here's the thing. So we're there, and so we had to crank up the politeness because it was the first couple date. And the first couple date, you want to put on your best. So I didn't know we were both doing it. She was being super nice and polite and laughing at stuff that when he shouldn't have, and I was too. So we both, pretty decent actors, looked like we were having a good time. We got in the car, and we were like, why do you get me out of there? Why do you get me out of there? It was your fault.
It was brutal. It was 3 hours of bad impressions.
Yeah. So you're not the problem. I
just got really lucky.
Would you have gotten if you hadn't got this job? Would you have and the situation with your apartment and stuff was continuing? Would you have gone back to New York?
No. My plan. Had I not got hired here, I was determined to be there as long as possible. Like I was going to go there 2 or 3 years, and then I was going to quit and start freelancing again. And if I wasn't working for you by this time, my roommates made enough contacts that I probably could have done that.
Cool, man. See, he had a plan. He had a plan.
I had a contingency.
So don't be little. All I'm saying, you people in your 20s, don't be bitches. Stop worrying about Kardashians and how many fucking friends you have, and get off your ass and do it. And by the way, if it's hard, go. This is how it's supposed to go.
But also know that that's all an illusion. It's all fake. Like reality TV, they get fired if they don't create enough drama. It's not real.
Right.
Because we know people that were on Real Housewives or whatever,
and they lost their gig because they came back and they got, I'm not angry at these girls anymore, and they were like, really, you're out.
Done, fired. You lost your income. Or Kardashian, dumb shit, tweeted a picture the other day. So I was reading about this. Her budget is...
She doesn't have a creative thing. She just calls her dumb shit.
Her budget is like $10,000 a week or something for makeup artists and photographers and everything. So those impromptu Twitter pictures that she posts that everyone follows, or her Facebook or whatever, I don't know, where Instagram maybe she does, those are all done by real photographers with lighting, hair, makeup. She gets up every day and has hair and makeup done, fake tannings. Her spa budget is insane. And then she does posts on those impromptu cell phone pictures. I'm doing quotes. So she accidentally a couple days ago tweeted a picture of herself kissing Kanye West, and then immediately pulled it. But, everybody copies her pictures instantly, right. And reposted it with a much smaller neck, and she had gotten rid of all of her hair flyaways because those are apparently the most offensive thing in the world to her.
She's retouching Instagram
of
stuff.
course, yeah.
Wow. That's what people do.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
I'm just too pretty.
An Australian model,
Titus Raw,
who's a really, really famous female Instagram star. I don't know her name or whatever, and she just deleted her Instagram account because she couldn't do it anymore because everything was fake. She was getting paid by this company for her to just put up bikini photos, and she was been doing it since Instagram started. She was in the top 50 most followed people. She's a super attractive model, and she just deleted her Instagram account because she said she can't do it anymore.
Talking to the mic, for God's sake.
Yeah, you're not.
Really quiet. Into the mic. You have to get close.
Sorry.
There you go. It's better. There you go. Wow, you're in now. Because here's what we're gonna get now. For God's sakes, teach Fetus how to use a mic. He went to film school. Holy crap! Yeah, he didn't go to talking school. He went to film school.
Right. Anyway, so it's not real. So what we're aspiring to...
She didn't lose her job. She just said she didn't want to be harassed anymore, and she didn't want to do this fake thing anymore.
Right. So you're at 10,000 hours, people. You want to be a filmmaker. You want to be a singer. You want to be a guitarist. You want to be a comedian. 10,000 hours. You got to bust your ass. These two people right here are quite lucky. Little Miss Bombshell right here. She actually worked. She actually busted her ass. She turned a comedy club around as management. Hung with comics. Watched comedy constantly. And then when she met me and she started being really funny, I said, "You need to be a comedian." And now she's 6 years in. You're 6 years in. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't suck anymore. It's great.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who you ask.
No, I can go back to some of the. If you guys want to see how good the show is, go to Ticketmaster reviews. I will stand by that. Those are people that paid, came, and then reviewed it. It's not.
Also, we're local. One night only this Saturday at Flappers in Burbank. 2 shows. I think the first one's almost sold out or already sold out or something. But anyway, you should definitely come if you're in SoCal and see the new show.
And if you are in your 20s, for God's sakes, go to harrys.com and get some razors. You got it. You got it. It works. They're cheap. Because if you're in your 20s, you got no money, right? You got no money, and if you're going to go try to buy razors at the freaking CVS, you got to get a guy to unlock it. Then they got to check your credit, and then you get a couple of razor blades, right?
I am interested in what people say and that's why we like Harry's so much, is because it's for reals, right? Like the word on the street is, so we had several people tweet us just this weekend that you tagged Harry's in. One lady said her 16-year-old is never using an electric razor again. Like people are saying these are such good razors. So this month...
We built them in a Germany factory and they are very, very sharp, but they won't cut you.
They are super sharp, but it's, you don't get cut. But
well,
this month...
I will say that. I shave fast. Sometimes I have to get somewhere and I shave fast. And just shave careful.
Let's just say your Adam's apple is smaller. That's fine.
No.
But
it didn't change anything else.
This month is Movember, and for people that are you going to participate in Movember, or
it's like I'm always participating.
Yes,
that
you
is
are.
True because you're a Sasquatch.
So Harry's is the official partner of Movember Foundation, and they're going to be donating money and helping raise awareness for men's health, and so that's what this whole month is about for Harry's. But what is it? Tell us.
You just don't shave your face or anything.
Testicular cancer.
Yeah, it's raising awareness for men's health, testicular cancer, like you just said, and just raising the whole awareness to, get yourself checked.
But I would like anyone, you have to tweet us and tag harrys.com in it. I want to see the most creative Movember facial hair arrangement possible.
Yeah, we'll put them up on. We'll do a little thing on the website. Can we do that?
Yeah,
we'll do it on
like
the podcast.
A Fu Manchu
on
myself.
The podcast page, we will actually do your Movember styles at the end of the month. And if you got a Harry's razor, and you have to be using a Harry's razor, boom, there you go.
I love too. Like another thing I love about Harry's is they always, no matter what month it is, they give 1% of all their sales, which I'm assuming is probably huge now because word is out about Harry's. They give it to charity, and they also donate their time. The two dudes that started it donate their time to charitable organizations every year. So pretty cool. Good people and good product. So I'm a fan.
Yeah.
So, but if you go to harrys.com, HARRYS.com, you use promo code Titus, you get $5 off your first order. And the order includes razor blades, and gel or shaving cream.
Indeed.
And your favorite
Free
part.
shipping.
Free shipping.
And dudes, get one for your girl too because Bombshell's legs. Yeah. They don't go.
They never.
It's like smooth as a baby's butt, which is weird. I don't know. I'm thinking of baby butts while I'm rubbing your legs. It's sick, isn't it? It's weird. All right. And now, from sea to shining sea, continent to continent, and sometimes space, it's Bombshell Rae bringing you the Bombshell News.
No. This story makes my head want to pop off, and it goes in line with what we've been talking about. People are just about some bullshit these days. This whole Starbucks controversy.
Wow.
Christians are unhappy. Some, and I gotta say some.
No one.
Some Christians, not most of us. Probably one, but this story has blown up. Probably one asshole said something. So Starbucks has released their Crix Mix cup. It is just red, and it just has a green and white logo, and that's it. And Christians, one lady has been quoted as saying that the absence of the snowflakes on the cups, quote, denies the hope of Jesus, end quote.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus was born in the Middle East.
I would like to say
there's no snow.
That in the past.
Camel. They put a camel on the cup.
You know what? I'm a Christian. I'm authorized to speak on behalf of most, and there's probably 10. I'm just saying. Like, where are all these people raging about? In the past, Starbucks coffee cups for Crix Mix, they change every year. Right. Every year. So this is not weird that it's changed.
Right.
They have
so it's not against God. Starbucks is not against God, is what you can think.
They have never had pictures of Jesus, of the manger, of Mary, of the star, of anything.
Cross? Never been a cross?
No, never. Do you
really?
know what? Do you remember? What have they had?
I think last year it was the Last Supper wrapped around the cup, right?
No,
it was the guys, no, wasn't that on the Starbucks?
You're wrong. No, snowflakes. One year was ornaments. Another year was nature scenes.
I mean, it wasn't Jesus fighting Satan on the mountaintop.
No,
that was never. That was a good cup. That was a good guess.
JC, what?
JC,
MMA, JC.
He's like flying sidekick. That'd be great.
So I have some first world problems. I actually didn't like the cups, and I tweeted that I didn't like the cups to a friend before this whole thing happened.
I have one in front of me.
And I didn't like them because it's harder to see the names on the red.
Oh, we do have the cut. Okay, let's look at this.
White.
So it's a big deal. Do you notice that it's ombre? It's light to dark.
Oh, it's got a little bit of a gradient to it.
Creates a depth there.
Yes,
I think it's really pretty. The OCD in me is really drawn to how perfect and minimalistic this is.
You could literally put a thing on that and hang that from the tree.
It's actually
I might do that.
Yeah,
the ghetto Christmas ornament.
So let me tell you guys what I think about this whole. Because Donald Trump, I'm driving over to the podcast today to do it, and Donald Trump, they quote Donald Trump that's saying, "I've got a Starbucks in Trump Tower. You know what? That they won't say a Merry Christmas on their cups." He goes, I may lose that chant thing now, but he goes, I think we should boycott Starbucks. Really? Starbucks actually pays for education for their employees. Starbucks actually pays for health care for their employees. They get and they have these programs all the time to help their employees. It's like one of the most amazing companies that you can imagine when it comes to how they treat their people. And yet Merry Christmas.
So people are protesting by telling the barista that their name is Merry Christmas so that they're forced to write it on the cups that never had Merry Christmas on them anyway. And I just want to point out this is the crux of my whole argument, and then the defense will rest. Mr. Your Honor.
Go ahead.
What is the name of my all-time favorite effing coffee at Starbucks?
Christmas blend.
Christmas blend. Did you go there today?
Yeah, I did. I bought 2 of them. It says Christmas on the bag.
Is it coated around you in Christmas crap?
Yeah.
Stuff that you can buy, ornaments for a Christmas tree, Christmas blend,
Santa
coffee.
Clauses, coffee cups with Christmas stuff on it. Yeah, they've totally blown off Christmas by actually. That's what they're doing. They've actually blown off Christmas by actually having Christmas stuff in there. It's a trick to get you in, so they can make you buy the cup that doesn't say Merry Christmas on it. You know what I'm gonna tell people from now? My name is. What's your name? My name Kwanzaa.
Yeah, how about Kwanzaa? How about that?
Put Kwanzaa on the cup. My name Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa Washington.
How do you spell that?
Do you even know how Kwanzaa works?
Kwanzaa. My name Kwanzaa is a Q, and then Wanzaa.
It's definitely not.
No. That's how my mama spelled it like that.
Probably
No,
not.
man. It's Q, Wanzaa.
That's
it. No, man. That's how I spell it.
No, you.
You could say what? My name is Hanukkah. Put it on there. My name's Chanukah. Put it on date.
Right. Okay. So the defense rests. Can we move on?
Well. There are Christians in the Middle East right now being beheaded specifically because they're Christians. You want to talk about what needs to be protested? You want to talk about where people need to fucking go? I think the last thing you should be worrying about, you dumb fucks, is a fucking red cup. I cannot believe that we have lost our way so far in this country, and we live in such a rich place that people are getting fired up and bitching about a coffee cup. Go away.
I have a public works program I'd like to put into place.
That was pretty harsh, wasn't it?
I think that these people, all these people that are posting this stuff about boycotting Starbucks and all that, I think that we should actually take donations for the plane fare to fly them to Syria.
As missionaries.
To protest.
You people that are so into Christmas that you're pissed about the red Starbucks cup, this is brilliant, Bombshell, that we are now going to take donations to put you on a plane so you get to be missionaries in Syria and turn people so they say Merry Christmas. If that's what a Christian you are, that you're so pissed off about a cup, then you should be really mad about Christians getting beheaded in a foreign land.
And good luck saying you're a Christian over there.
So go to my Twitter at Titus Nation. Go to my Twitter at Titus Nation, or go to my Facebook, The Real Christopher Titus, and sign up. Sign up, and we'll do what we can to get you over there. In fact, I may go to my bank account and fly you over to Syria to be a Christian
activist.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to take Holly
a bullet.
Yeah. It just seems to me that we have gotten silly, and there's the debates are tonight too, the GOP debates, and this is going to be a big issue. It makes me sad. All right, next story.
Wow,
I'm just pissed.
Whoa.
I don't understand what we're wasting time for.
There is a creepy 65-year-old clown that will terrify your misbehaving kid for cash. This could be the. What's wrong with you?
Why are you shaking your head?
What?
Yeah.
Are you scared of
Clowns are my number one fear.
Really? Is that he actually backed away from them
again? Third world.
Terrified
of clowns.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm scared of? Terrorism.
I was going to say, like, third world problems might...
Crips and Bloods. A little scared, afraid of Crips and Bloods.
Third world problems just pale in comparison to your problems. That's, clowns and...
Don't have a girlfriend.
Don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Wishes he was a Gryffindor instead of a Hufflepuff.
That is a big issue
the
in
number
this
one
building.
issue.
Ooh, number one. It's right up there with Christian beheadings and hunger.
Well, I was in the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and
Yeah,
they're some of the
you were.
creepiest clowns ever in that
My
movie.
sister made me watch it when I was 5.
It's
okay.
pretty.
This
that-
clown is named Wrinkles, and he's super creepy. You know, I have pictures of him if you're ready.
better than foreskin.
You're ready. There you go. Oh, you're gonna have a nightmare now. Oh, look, he's melting. His face is physically melting.
He just twisted up. You all right? That's weird.
He's pretty creepy. He wears a polka dot onesie though, and that's kind of cute with black rubber gloves. He actually. What is wrong with you?
It really
Really?
gets to you
Not
that
okay.
bad.
I wish that you had thought in advance of what the two of us might do with this kind of knowledge.
Yeah, you probably should have kept that low key because now we know that clowns scare the shit out of you. I'm just saying we're not going to.
wouldn't do
Hey, Bombshell, we're not going
anything
to do anything, are we?
No.
Nope.
No, you
not
wouldn't.
at
You guys
all.
wouldn't do that to me.
Wink.
Nudge, nudge,
Yeah.
nod, nod. Say
Right.
no more. Say
Say
no
no
more.
It'll be the last thing that breaks my psyche.
Oh, it's not going to be the last.
Trust
thing.
me, your psyche's been broken.
There's
We've
more.
been building it back
Oh,
slowly.
just to destroy it.
He told the Washington Post that just for a few $100 cash, he will make an appearance at your party or gathering, prank your friend, or even scare your misbehaving kids straight, as he has been recently hired to do by one mother looking to reform her troublemaking 12-year-old.
Oh, I love
Effective.
this. And good. That's kind of a decent thing. These parents, I talk about it in the new show. These parents that like beyond scared straight that have basically, oh, Jonathan, he doesn't listen to me anymore. He smacked his sister. He's selling drugs. You know what? I'm gonna drop him off at a maximum security prison and let rapists and murderers teach him. You don't pull the ripcord. Let me see the picture.
He's freaking out.
Oh, that's great, man.
He is freaking. And
That's
there's so
great.
many pictures people are posting on Twitter.
I like wrinkles.
He just stands in the distance and stares through your child's window.
So, kids, if you want your parents, if you want your kids to end up in therapy, wrinkles, call them.
Speaking of wrinkles, an elderly woman has been arrested for making purses out of
Nice.
neighbors' missing cats.
Wow.
She's 91 years old. Her name is Marjorie.
Oh my goodness, this is the best story ever. Now I have a question. That's like you studied serial killers and sociopathic behavior. That's so rare that a woman's doing that. Yes,
But she's not serial killing per se.
she just stumbling across a lot of
She's
dead
91.
cats.
She probably has dementia. And I think what happened was there was a cat she found dead because she fed stray cats. And so she
No. That's
made
inventory.
a bolsa out of it.
She didn't feed stray cats. She was gathering inventory.
And then
Does
she
she have a
liked her
website?
bolsa so much that it's probably on Etsy. This is definitely
Yeah, I would add something on Etsy. Go to Etsy and we can get it. Who wants a cat purse? I would love a cat purse. Oh my God, that's a real cat.
if you want it right meow, you can pay $19.99
Wow.
for overnight shipping.
Wow. If you want it right, meow.
That was a throwback
Very nice.
to Super Troopers. Was
Yep.
that the name of it?
Yes. Love Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A cop has been, he was actually too wasted to accept his Mothers Against Drunk Driving award. Of course, it's Florida again.
I love people.
He's gotten into a lot of trouble because he was invited to a mad awards banquet this summer that was designed to award him.
And they were serving
He's a deputy
alcohol.
with the Sheriff's Department in Pinellas County. He was slated to receive this award for making more than 100 DUI arrests. He was seen by the police chief outside of the building, staggering around, lost, and was entirely too drunk to go inside, according to the internal affairs investigation that has been...
Hey! Hey, where's the giving us the awards are out? Hey! Hey, Captain Johnson, give me a hug. Captain Johnson, give me a hug.
Apparently-
Captain Johnson, I love you, Captain Johnson.
Apparently
Hey,
he made
I
some-
arrested over 100 drunk drivers.
He made some
And-
disrespectful comments to
and-
Captain Johnson.
And these bitches right here want to give me an award. What's up, bitches? I'm the guy that arrested all of the people. Captain Johnson, yeah, by the way, you know, he actually does hookers in the alley.
What?
Captain Johnson, me and you, baby. Listen, when I see a drunk driver, you know what? I have experience, and I know that's the drunk driver. And you bitches, by the way, Captain Johnson will pay you $60. Thank you for this award. Where's my car keys?
No. A bus
Florida
driver.
is just a state full of irony all the time. All these stories come out of Florida. It cracks me up.
This happened in the UK. A bus driver has been filmed. You can go look at the film. Allegedly, although I feel like if it's on film, it's not as alleged, masturbating on the top floor of his empty double-decker bus in the middle of the day for the entire street to see.
Probably thought he was hiding. Hey, you know what? If I go up on top, no one will see me, right? People walking behind the side. Hey, you can't even see that someone's up there, right? You're sitting up there. I'm just going to go on the top. I'm going to rub one out real quick. I'm going to go, get
He
back in the
was
bus.
asked while he was up there, because it looked like he was rocking back and forth and he was half naked on top of the bus. He was asked what he was doing, and he told the people that were asking that he was looking for something, and he had a problem with his leg.
Right, so, oh, shit. Right, people in buildings around me can see into the bus. I didn't think about that. Oh, my God. Oh, tuck the lotion behind your back. Oh, right. No one can see the lotion. And I'm wearing flesh-coloured shorts.
What?
So it's not my legs, and I found a small hamster that I'm petting. Oh, this is not going to go well. That's really creepy. By the way, I don't know. Look, we all have to do hand stuff once in a while.
Occasionally.
Okay, so I just can't see the desperate move of, can't wait, gotta go now. Don't believe it. I've got 15 minutes on my shift. I'll take my little break. I'm gonna take my little wanker break. I'm gonna wank it a little bit, and then I'll go get back in the bus. And then I'll feel better for the next drive. I got to drive, touch that steering wheel.
Maybe it was like a speed situation where if he didn't do it, the bus was gonna blow up. You know.
But there was no one on the bus.
Listen, if this bus, if no one comes on this bus in the next 5 minutes, it's gonna blow.
I'm trying to save my people.
So he's a hero.
It's a real
He's
pressure.
a hero. I tell you what, that's what I'd be using in court. I was a terrorist called me and said if I don't go jerk off on the top, the bus is going to explode, Your Honor. Magistrate.
Magistrate. Nice. Look at you, how smart you are.
Oh, my God. Why does everybody, whenever I say a word that's bigger than a normal word I use, everybody treats me like I'm
We
a retarded.
both did it. We both
like
were
I'm
like,
a retarded
oh.
kid that did a magic trick.
Oh.
You guys suck.
All summer, when we went on our
this
vacation
was
at the
so
beach
bad.
house, we ended up playing cards. We were playing gin every night with
I've never
my-
played in my life.
Me neither. With my 82-year-old grandmother, who would
She
come down
dusted
in
you
her
guys.
house coat thing, and it had
grapes
grapes
on
on it, so we called her the Grapes of Wrath.
That was her card name, Grapes of Wrath.
And she was 82. She was sitting up until 3 in the morning a couple nights with us playing. But every time, because he was getting hammered, which was part of the problem. But every time he would actually put 3 of the same number together, and she'd go,
And what would she say? She said,
"Look at you! That is so good. Look at him.
Or, look what you did.
Look what you did."
And I was like, I am a grown man who runs a business.
A kid who drew a kitten with crayons.
Yeah, I know. That does look
and
like
then
a
she'd
cat.
pat his knee. That is so good. That is good.
I was ripping on her so hard at one point, though. I think she was just doing it to make me feel stupid.
He said at one point his Aunt Kathy every time Aunt Kathy's turn would come, we'd sit for 17 minutes while she hummed
love
to
it.
herself. And, she's awesome.
She's
but
one of those look at her cards forever people. She's obviously got 9 or 10 scenarios in her head to beat us, so she's actually she'll just run them all over.
And you're sitting there drinking wine, and you're like, go ahead, Kat, take your time. We've all got plenty of time. Well, most of us do.
I look at her grandma, I go, most of us. It was fun. It was fun.
Oh, they were
stuff.
giving each other crap back and forth. Anyway, I actually do have a hero this week.
And now he's wearing a cape and he's flying in, saving lives, kicking ass, and taking name. It's the hero of the week.
This week, hero, Disney, Lucasfilm, and J.J. Abrams.
Yes.
This is
The
great.
director.
I know all about this.
A guy named Daniel Fleetwood, terminally ill guy, 32 years old, and his dying wish was to see the new Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
Because he may not make it.
Actually,
he died.
Just died.
Oh, he
So
died? Oh, my
you,
God.
You should keep up with the news.
Wow.
He had spindle
I read the
cell.
story before he died.
He had spindle cell sarcoma, which is a rare connective tissue cancer. He got 2 months to live in July. He was interviewed by media and said that this was his dying wish, and it got out, and they came together, and they did an unfinished cut of the film at his home.
Wow.
And J.J. Abrams specifically personally called the guy, Daniel, to tell him the good news and talked to him for a while about how he was doing and stuff. And then they showed it in his home, and he got to see it before he died. But he just passed away, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
Can I leapfrog one more thing on that?
Please do.
Yeah.
So the
I was going to ask him how it got done. How did it get done?
The way it started was his wife put that on Twitter
On the
and
tweeter.
Reddit.
Put it on the tweeter.
And started the hashtag Force for Daniel, and they tweeted at Mark Hamill. They tweeted at all these people, and
Carrie Fisher,
and everyone just got on board with it. And then the 501st, which are a bunch of fans that make exact replicas of Stormtrooper costumes.
We met when we went to the Star Wars convention.
They're endorsed by Lucasfilm, so like they're a big deal. They went to his house like 4 or 5 days ago in force, like a whole bunch of them, and met with the guy too. And like a bunch of them said, it's really hard to wipe away tears behind a helmet. Like it was a really like moving experience, and it's great when say what you want about nerds and geeks, but we really do rally around stuff like this.
We're not. I didn't say anything.
No, I mean a couple weeks ago.
I didn't. I didn't say anything about nerds and geeks. What did I say?
You say a lot.
When I rip on him, I'm not specifically ripping on nerds and geeks.
Yeah, but the nerds and geeks.
You can't. You don't get to spread the abuse across a broad group of people. So you need to keep it solely for yourself.
She wants to know that whenever she's talking about a dork or a nerd, she's
it's just
specifically talking about you.
Perfect. Right.
Talk into the mic, for God's sake.
I am talking into the mic.
You're not.
I can tell by the little sound waves on the machine. It's saying it. When Siri goes, he is not speaking into the microphone. And that's what's happening in my headphones right now.
It just makes it sound like I'm far away. It keeps the
it does. Keeps the
illusion.
If you want to see the three of us, come to Flappers in Burbank this Saturday, the 14th.
Yeah, Fetus will be with us this weekend.
No one wants to see me.
Bombshell's coming out.
No,
everybody.
we had some people ask for you. In Chattanooga.
Well, we had Agent Pete Squashy with us this weekend, and so people were wondering, was that him or you? And then
Pink Squashy was quite offended. Are you Fetus?
As he should be.
He was like, no. He said it with some disdain.
I got a gun.
Yeah,
and then we're going to be in one of our all-time favorite places in the world the weekend after that, the 19th through the 21st, Comedy Works, Landmark Place, Colorado, Denver.
And then the next leg of the theater tour goes through.
It's going to be in December.
Right.
So definitely, most importantly, right now, because there was a scheduling snafu today, we're definitely going to be in Louisville at the Bombhard Theater on Friday, December 4th.
Worst name for a comedian theater. We talked about that last time. The Bombhard Theater.
Ouch.
Titus is going to Bombhard.
And on Saturday, we're going to be in Cincinnati at the Kentucky Performing Arts Center. It's the Jackson, what's it called? Jarson Kaplan Theater.
Yeah.
Did you put that up yet?
New show's kicking ass, guys. Guys, you want to come see over 2 hours of live comedy. Bombshell's been kicking ass. We're going to film her special in April in Eugene, Oregon. So come see her working on the stuff that she's working on. I've got an entirely new 90 minutes. It's kicking ass. I got 3 standing ovations this weekend.
Yeah,
it's
you
pretty
did.
good. So come see the show, guys. It's a good one. Actually, some guy tweeted out specifically, best show since Love is Evil. And that's a bold statement. Guys, thanks for listening to Titus Podcast. Come see us when you can. Do me a favor. Go to iTunes and review the show. Please go review the show on iTunes. We could use some more reviews. Subscribe to Christopher Titus TV on YouTube. We give weekly videos. Plus, we're starting to do these live Armageddon updates where Fetus is actually coming up some really funny stuff for the graphics in the back. Click through on the Amazon link on the show on the ChristopherTitus.com page. Wow, I'm getting fumbling.
Holy crap.
See, when I horse stuff, I
What
get really
happened?
nervous. Guys,
You're bomb-harding.
listen, it takes effort to keep this podcast running. So you want to help us out when you're buying Christmas gifts, go to ChristopherTitus.com, click through the Amazon link, and it helps us out a little bit. Thanks.
Also, hit us up on Facebook, The Real Christopher Titus, Bombshell Rae, or Titus Podcast, or also on Twitter at Ray Bradley, at Titus Nation. Same on Instagram.
Fetus, what's your thing?
What is your thing? Why are you holding up a sign?
Yeah, you have a mic now. Guys, he just jotted something
sitting
down.
next to us and holding up a sign.
We have just got all the rights to Love is Evil back. It came back after 5 years. We are going to do something, and then that for Christmas. Here it is. We are building a Christmas card with the Love is Evil disc in it. Not Christmas card, sorry. It's like a Valentine's card with the disc in it. A very dark, funny Valentine's card with the disc in it. So if you know some people who are broken, have been destroyed by a member of the opposite sex or the same sex in a relationship, this is by far the best special. I've never had more people come up to me and say that Love is Evil stop them from either killing themselves or going crazy. So we'll be doing that for Christmas, special Christmas release of Love is Evil. That'll be up next week. You guys have a great day. And for myself, Bombshell Rae, and the fetus, later.
Peace out.
See ya.
He was on the mic a lot. You're really starting to let him go.
I'm not really letting him go. I feel like he's letting himself go. He's getting all willy-nilly and
Randy?
talking. He's getting a little randy. Don't shake your head at me. I'll come over there and beat you down like a...